Hello everyone. So today we will understand the first chapter of 6th standard NCERT, that is what, where, how and when. So let's start our session without any delay. So Rashida यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन पूछ रही है. वो she was reading a newspaper and he come with a question that हम कैसे she read a small headline that 100 years ago. So she wondered and thought that how we come to know about our past, that is 100 years ago. सो ये उसका क्वेश्चन था, हम कैसे अपने पास्ट के बारे में जान पाए. नाउ इन टू टिल टुडे वी आर स्टडिंग हिस्ट्री, दैट हाउ वी कम टू नो अबाउट आवर हिस्ट्री और पास्ट. So this was the question of Rashida. Even we forgot what could happen on the yesterday or day before, and newspaper and television and whatever the media is, that we will forget what happened and what comes in that. But how we come to know about our past, the question is that. So what can we know about the past? हम कैसे जान पाएंगे हमारे पास्ट के बारे में. बिकॉज देर आर सेवरल थिंग्स लाइक द प्लेट्स दे ईट, द काइंड ऑफ क्लोथ्स दे वॉर, द हाउसेस इन विच द एशियन पीपल यूज टू लिव, दे वर what kind of profession they were using, like they were farmers, hunters, or the rurals, or the merchants, or the priest, or the craft person, or the artisans, or the musician, or the scientist, means which profession they were following. And from this we come to know about the past, our past history, the Asian peoples, about the children's, how they used to play game, what kind of games they play, the stories they heard, the play they saw, the song they sing. From this small छोटे छोटे चीज़ों से हमें सारे इन्फॉर्मेशन कलेक्ट होके हम जान पाते कि हाँ, कि हमारे एशियंट, हमारे जो पास्ट में पीपल्स रहते थे, वो इस तरह की चीज़ें यूज़ करते थे. सो वेयर डिड दे लिव, द क्वेश्चन इज दैट दोज ओवर द एंसेस्टर्स ऑफ आर, वेयर दे लिव. Basically, when we study history, we come to know about they were basically settled in the river's bank because of availability of waters, and they were also skilled gatherers. They gather food, like gathering is like they gather food, like plants, the stems, they collect roots, and they gather all this food from the forest, and they keep for themselves for eating. This comes from they get the skill of gathering, and they also do hunting as well. So now let's find out the Suleiman and Kirtar is in the northwest. You can see in that map Suleiman and Kirtar hills in the Pakistan area. Suleiman and Kirtar hills. So some of the women and a man first began to grow the crops in Suleiman and Kirtar hills. Basically, around 8,000 years ago, we come to know about wheat and barley were cultivated in that area, and the people also do the rearings of animal like sheep, goat, and cattle. And they in Suleiman and Kirtar hills, why they were living because of the surroundings, because of geographical location they choose that. Look at the Garo hills in the northeast of India. Garo hill, you can see it is here in the northeastern Garo hills. In so this is some of the other areas where agriculture developed. Where agriculture developed, the Garo hills, the Suleiman and Kirtar hills. सुलेमान एंड किरतार हिल्स में बेसिकली हमने देखा कि वहाँ वीट एंड बार्ली का कल्टीवेशन फर्स्टली हुआ अराउंड 8,000 years ago. We come to know about. And about the Garo hills, we also see the development of agriculture took place there. So the places where rice was first grown to the north of the Vindhyas. Where is Vindhyas? It is central India, where we can see the Vindhyas. See, we see the Vindhya. Now trace the Indus River and its tributaries. As you all know, Indus River is located in the Pakistan, and Yeah, here we see the Indus River and their tributaries like Jhelum, Chenab, Bias, Ravi, Satluj. These were the tributaries of the Indus. So we come to know about 4,700 years ago, some of the earliest cities flourished in the banks of these rivers, that is Indus River. So we come to know basically the settlements of a human civilization set up only on the river's banks. And later we again see around 2500 years ago cities were developed on the banks of Ganga because these were geographically best place for development and settlement of a civilization, Ganga and the Indus. So firstly the Indus rivers were flourished with settlement of humans, and second after that 2500 years ago the settlement of a human civilization took place in Ganga as well. Now we know Ganga where it is located. Ganga is located in the UP, and tributaries are Yamuna, Chambal, Son, Brahmaputra. These were the tributaries of Ganga. Now, when we see the significance of a Ganga river, the first empire come in the picture of the history, that is Magad Empire. Magad Empire established that it was a large and powerful kingdom which was lying in the state of Bihar, modern day Bihar. And kingdom was set up and spread out all over the country as well. So the people traveled from one part to another part. Like from Indus River, the people traveled from Ganga to Ganga. So we see a traveling took place here, like the high hills and mountains, the deserts and rivers. Like this are too danger to travel at in that time. Even it is never possible to travel. We usually travel from train. Is it possible we can travel by walk? Not at all. But just imagine how the Asian people usually travel in that time. Even today we travel by a train, by bus, by anything else, but we never go for walk for a longer distance. Just imagine they don't have any medium, any vehicle to travel, but yeah, they do and they reach at in there. So basically, why do people travel nowadays? Of course, we have some purpose on our life, for education purpose, for the jobs, or anything. For we may go for a family meetup and all. We go for get together for our friends or anything. We usually travel. We have some kind of a motive behind it. Otherwise, we usually walk for that. So just imagine the hills and the mountains and the natural frontiers of that subcontinent. It would be difficult to cross one frontiers to one lakes to one hills, from hills to mountains. Just imagine. And now as the society, the world is developed, we don't face that problem. So the movement of a people, whether it is a present day, whether it is a past, it take place because of some kind of a purpose they have. Even they travel one place to another for having their food, to collect their food. They travel usually, and as we travel we bring and get the certain culture, certain tradition of that place also. And we, for example, we travel, we also learn that culture as well as their tradition also, and we passes it where we go, of course. So in that name of the land, basically our country is called for the two name, that is India and Bharat. India and Bharat, how the name come to India and Bharat? The question is that the word India basically come from the Indus. Indus is that which is a river, Indus River at a Pakistan. Indus River in Sanskrit it is called is a Sindhu. So the Iranian and Greece people were living on the northwest, that is Indus River, and they called people from the east of the Indus River. What is east of the Indus River? For east of the Indus River, Basically, for east of the Indus River, we come to know all the entire part is called India. So from that we come to know and they called as India. They give name as India to our country. The Greeks and Iranians, they were living in the northwest of the Indus, and they called the eastern part of the peoples from Indus. They called as India, and as Hindos or Indos to the east of the river of Indus. So name India come from Hindos or Indos called by Iranians and Greeks around 2500 years ago. Now how the Bharat name came up, how we called Bharat, because it is basically a group of people who lived in the northwest, and northwest basically comes in the mention in the Rig Veda also. And the earlier Rig Veda, what is it, is the earliest composition in Sanskrit about it, has our dates and all everything written down. Rig Veda, it is a very valuable information. So in that it is mentioned Bharat, those people living in the northwest. So from that Bharat word came up, and usually we called Bharat and India to our country. Finding about the past, how we find and got and know about our past. The question is that of course we got to know about our past by archaeological evidences, like by research of read books written long ago. What means we come to know about the writings of the ancient time, that is manuscripts. Manuscript, basically manu is derived from the Latin word which means handwritten. उसमें हाथों से लिखा हुआ रहता था ऑन द पाम लीफ. एंड ये पाम लीफ बेसिकली प्रिपेयर्ड होता था बार्क ऑफ अ लीफ से, जो हिमालयंस इन एरियाज में ग्रो होते थे एज अ बर्च. सो मनीस्क्रिप्ट बेसिकली जो हिमालयज में एक ट्री ग्रो होते हैं, बर्च ट्री, उसके जो बार्क होते हैं उसके बार पे हम हैंड रिटन हैंड से लिखते हैं, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड एज अ मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट्स. स्क्रिप्ट्स लिखते हैं, दैट्स व्हाट इज़ कॉल्ड एज अ मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट्स. सो यहाँ पे एक इमेज दिया है, ये पाल्म लीफ का मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट है, और ये 1000 ईयर्स अगो लिखा गया था. पहले तो कट डाउन करते हैं पूरे बार्क ऑफ ट्रीज़ को, एंड देन उसको ढेर सारे लिखने के बाद उसको ढेर सारे ऐसे शेप में उसको टाइट कर देते हैं एक ही रस्सी से, ताकि वो कल टुगेदर रहने के लिए, टू मेक अ बुक. ऐसे ही बुक होते थे, ढेर सारे ऐसे मैन्यूस्क्रिप्ट कलेक्ट करते थे, उसको टाइट कर देते एंड टुगेदर दे विल मेक अ बुक ऑफ इट. यू कैन सी एन एग्जाम्पल हेयर. But over a years the manuscript will of course get destroyed by the eating away by insect, or destroyed by many ways, like not it get damaged or anything else. So some of them might be survived and preserved in temples and monasteries. So this book basically, the manuscript basically written down all kinds of subjects, like the religious beliefs and how and their practices, the lives of kings, the medicine in that time, the science development in that time. Besides that, there were epics, poems, plays, and these all things were written down in manuscript. And basically, this was written down in Sanskrit, Praktik, and Tamil. Sanskrit basically language referred by the sages, and Praktik by the common and ordinary people, and Tamil is also there. Now we can study the inscription. What is inscription? Basically एक hard surface पे, like a stone or a metal, they will write down some scripts. That's what is called as inscription. Inscription basically किंग्स के ऑर्डर्स लिखे जाते थे, इंस्क्राइब किए जाते थे, देन पीपल विल रीड आउट, बिकॉज इंस्क्रिप्शन जल्दी डैमेज नहीं होगा बिकॉज हार्ड सरफेस पे लिखा है. दैट्स वाई किंग्स ऑर्डर देते थे, और पूरे ऑल द कॉमन्स पीपल उसको रीड करके उसे ओबे करेंगे, इसलिए वो एकदम अच्छे से एकदम रॉक एंड हार्ड सरफेस में लिखा जाता ताकि इट विल नॉट गेट डैमेज्ड इन इजीली। सो द इंस्क्रिप्शंस लिखे जाते थे। ये इंस्क्रिप्शन है लाइक 2500 ईयर्स अगो। ये कांदाहार वेयर इट इज़ एट अफगानिस्तान। वहाँ का इंस्क्रिप्शन ये है एग्जांपल में जो दिया है। ये रूरल अशोका के नेम अशोका ने लिखवाया था, क्योंकि अशोका एम्पायर का जो प्रेजेंस था वो बहुत पूरे ऑल ओवर इंडिया से भी वो वाइडली फैला हुआ था, तो कांदाहार तक था। सो यू विल रीड अबाउट दिस इन फर्दर चैप्टर एज वेल। एंड हाँ, इंस्क्रिप्शन में बेसिकली किंग्स अपने बारे में भी अपने प्रेस करवाने के लिए भी, अपनी तारीफ़ करवाने के लिए भी वहाँ पे लिखवाते थे। और किंग कितने विक्ट्रीज जीते, कितने बैटल विक्ट्रीज हुए कितने बैटल में, वो सब भी रिकॉर्ड्स वो लिखवाते थे कि किंग कितना पावरफुल था। अगर ऐसे इंस्क्रिप्शन हम अगर पढ़ेंगे तो। So these were the other things that were made and used in the past. बेसिकली हम अपने हमारे पास्ट के बारे में जानते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट। आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट वे द पर्सन दोज हु स्टडी द remains of the past by excavating and do research on it, and they were tracing history by the evidence of archaeological sites, by getting information, by getting things on it. Archaeological sites were basically where excavation were done on that, and they will get evidence like the pots, the tools, the weapons at the time they were using, the ornaments they were wearing, the coins. These all are the evidences we come to know by excavating, and archaeologists do research and study on it, and they will come to know and trace the history by chronologically from that evidences from that source. So sometimes we also consider the stones, the bone, the baked clay or a metal, the any object, any imperishable substance usually survive for a longer period of time. It is called as and archaeology, uh, and we study, the archaeologists study those things. Now here we see a pot. In the left we see old a pot from old city, and in the right side we see this is the old silver coins. Basically, it is used in 2500 years ago. Now you can see the difference from today's coin and in that era's coin. You can see a vast change as coins has evolved from time to time. Today's coins are really very portable, easy to carryable, not too much like that. And pots, you can see the paintings on it, how the pottery skills had made on it. So the archaeologists look for the bones of animals, the bird, fish, because from that they will get evidences, and people they eat, what kind of foods they eat. The plants remain survive for more rarely. If seeds of a grain or piece of wood have been burnt, they survive in a charred form. So, do you think cloth is found frequently by archaeologists? Of course, cloth might be get found by the archaeologists, but it is found at a very deep by doing a very deep excavation. Then we get hardly the evidence of a clothes of the people, how they live, how what they wore. So, here in that chapter, in 6th standard NCRT, historians and scholars said the study of a past often use the word source to refer the information. Past basically used here that the source to refer the information found from manuscript, inscription and archaeology. Once the source are found, learning about the past become adventure as we reconstruct it bit by bit. So historian and archaeologists are detectives who use all these sources like clues to find out about our past history. So there are one past or many. The question is that why our textbook name and title given as our past. Here the past, the plural term is used here, not the past that is singular one, the past. Here we come to know about the past in the plural form to draw your attention that there were different past, different history for different groups of a people. Like for a king, their history, their past will be different as compared to the farmer, the marginalized people, the merchants, the craft person. Their history will be different as compared to the king. So from this, it is a different in group of people having different past. So we come to know about this. That's why the book's title given is our past. So, for example, today people living in Andaman Island get their own food by fishing, hunting, and collecting forest produce. But by contrast, most people living in cities depend on other forms of supplies of food. Means here we see that forms and ways of living are different. For a king, he get the food directly from his servant. But for the farmer, whatever he produce, he will eat. For the people living in islands or nearby the ocean area, their forms and ways of eating food will be different. So we come to know the difference in that, and their existence in the past is also different from one another. So these things we come to know about this. What does date mean? The question is that basically date tell us about the mentioned day, month, and a year. If somebody asks you what is a date, basically date you will say the today's day along with month and the year. That's it for today era. But when we study history, generally date were assigned to the birth of a Jesus Christ, who is the Jesus Christ was the founder of Christianity. So around 2000 means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. Around 2000 we will consider it as a 2000 years after the birth of Christ, that is 2000 AD. All dates before the birth of Christ are counted as a BC. Means basically the birth of Jesus Christ was considered on the year 0. After the birth of Jesus Christ, we will call it as a AD, after Anno Domini, and before the birth of Jesus Christ, we will call it as a BC, before Christ or before Common Era, and AD is also called as a AC, also called as a after Common Era. So here it is again explained here, letters with a date. BC stand for before Christ, that is before the birth of Jesus Christ. AD stands for Anno Domini, meaning in the year of the Lord, that is Christ. So even what is our 2021? We are living in 2021. So it can be also called as a AD 2021 because it is in the year of the Lord Christ, means it is the year after the birth of Jesus Christ. C, that is the common era. Instead of AD and BCE, we can also term it as a CE. So BCE before common era, it is like before birth of Christ, and AD that is after common. AC that is after common era. This term basically used in the Christian era. Now it is used in most of the countries in the world. And in India, we usually began to use this form of a dating from about 200 years ago. And sometimes the BP also given, BP stands for before present of Jesus Christ, that is before born of Jesus Christ. So this was that. We see this is the things very given in that textbook. about the inscription inscribed on the hard surface, they basically uses a symbols and signs. So studying by deciphered by the various decipherment, we come to know about these symbols and shows this letter and stand for this letter, and this might be written in different languages and different scripts. So the process of deciphering it is called as a decipherment. So this is like if there is a square box written on the script, it will be considered as the letter P. So this is all the common signs and symbols and which represent which letter given here. Here we come to know about the one of the most famous stories of a decipherment basically come from the Egypt around 5000 years ago, that is the Egypt which is at the northern of North Africa. Rosetta, it is a town in north coast of Egypt. Here we get the inscribed for stones are found which contain many languages where scholars could read like Greek, and two were other forms of Egyptian. Different languages written in that script. The scholars who read this Greek figured out that the names of the kings and queens were enclosed in a little frame called Kartok, and then they place the Greek and the Egyptian signs side by side and identify the sounds of which the Egyptian letters stood. As you can see, a lion stood for L, a bird for A. Once they knew that the letter stood for what, they will read out the inscription as well. So this was the general um, information given to you to come to know about the that type of a reading and inscription and decipherment took place in Egypt around 5000 years ago. It is the evidence of it. So yeah, here the keyword we understand traveling. Default we have a motive behind. Manuscript, the handwritten things on a bark of trees. The inscription basically written on hard surface, whether in a stone or in a metal. And archaeology basically study of the past remains. Historians basically do who interpret the history, and sources basically like the evidences we come to know, and decipherment like those who decipher read out the inscription. This passage is called as a decipherment. So thank you so much everyone for watching this video. Hope to see you all in the next chapter. And here there's some important dates are given which you can read it out here, like a beginning of agriculture started on 8000 years ago. The first cities on the Indus around 4700 years ago. Cities in Ganga Valley, a big kingdom that is a Magad, as I already said on it. Speak on it 2500 years ago, and present day we can use AD 2021. Yeah, that's it from my side. I hope that you all understood. If you have any doubt, you can just put it on the comment section, and I will definitely go for it to help you out from that query. Hope to see you all in the next video. Thank you so much everyone for watching out this video. Yeah, and do subscribe my channel as well.